Oh, hello there. I didn't know you came in. Please, have a seat.
Mr. Dummy, I need to speak to you about my staffing levels.
Well, what is the problem? You have a top-performing team. It's amazing what you accomplish with so few.
That's what we need to talk about. We cannot continue producing at top levels. My staff is burning out. The bulk of our time is spent putting out fires and supporting your other teams and initiatives on top of our regular work.
But those are important initiatives, and you consult on them only. Don't you?
Are you kidding me? Really? Yes, we do most of the legwork and just about all of the implementation. Then your lackeys prance back in here and pretend that they did it without our assistance. Look, I did not have come here to argue with you. The fact is, my staffing level has remained the same for over 6 years. Meantime, the consulting has increased exponentially. Yet, you still have not increased my staff.
Well, there isn't a chance that I will fund another FTE for you. My budget is locked down. Why can't you just take a body from one of my other teams?
There is funding available, if you would make the case for it. This is always your solution. Didn't you just say I had a top-performing team? And didn't you just acknowledge that we contribute to mill initiatives?
Well, yes, that is true.
Then why is my team doing all of this? If the other teams, from which you'd like me to call, are so capable, why can't they get one thing done on their own? It is never reciprocal. They can't find their way out of a wet paper bag.
Can't you rape and pillage from the Scud team for someone again?
No, I cannot. Scud is at bare bones. To take one of them would put Scud in peril, just as my team is. We do work with Scud often. Their employees that would be a good fit to my team are the top performers. Just too integral to that process. We would break Scud to plug the hole over here.
I know. What about Joe, from over in the acid unit? Joe is pretty good. You could train him.
Am I hearing you correctly? Because I said I would not abduct a person from Scud, you want to palm off Joe on me? When I have no idea what skills he is as for pulp? Joe, who we have never collaborated with in 10 years? Who may know nothing about debarking, or still less about pulp processing? And you actually believe Joe can step in and act as a subject matter expert? Perform as a consultant for the pulp process team?
Yes. My other initiatives and teams are too important to let go or delay. Besides, you can train Joe.
When? In our spare time? I just told you we are swamped. We cannot take on one more item, or we will break. And you want me to accept some other team's employee that we will have to train that doesn't fit our need?
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. How is it that Joe happens to be available to transfer to my team? Is the ASIV unit overstaffed now? If so, then why is Joe still employed here at the mill?
Huh?
Explain this. If Joe can be expended from the ASIV unit so easily to mine, then Joe probably should have been job eliminated. That savings would have provided the funds, allowing me to post and fill my position from qualified candidates. We need someone that will hit the ground running. My team supports all areas of the mill, not just your department, Mr. Dummy. We are highly respected mill-wide. From the tree choppers to the paper packagers. How do you think that is possible?
Mill magic.
Oh, I wish. But, no. It is because I have a very skilled and dedicated team. I appreciate their efforts, and they know it. Not like you. You just pile on more and more, then expect us to keep producing at the same caliber. We have done that for 6 years, but can sustain it no longer. We need qualified help. Now, we do not have time to do remedial training. Your ploy to save Joe by swapping him over to my team is reprehensible.
Well, you said that you need help, and I won't obtain funding for another FTE. I want all of my 500 things attended to. Helps me out at bonus time. This is my solution.
Did you just hear yourself? How am I to attend to all of this with the minuscule staff that I have? And fit in training for Joe? It is obvious that you have no idea how complex the pulp process alone is. There is not appreciation for all that we do. By offering Joe to me, it was tacit acknowledgement that the ASIV unit is overstaffed. Why else would Joe be available? But rather than do your job to eliminate Joe, instead you seek to shift them to my team, which is no help to us. Training Joe would be a huge hindrance, placing us further behind, and that isn't his fault.
In the past Joe did favors for one of my cronies. He was a first-class ass kisser. That lucky devil.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that you will take Joe, and you will train him too.
I came here looking for relief, and you have just added to my misery. We can't take on remedial training. I said at the outset, we cannot do one more thing without breaking.
Oh, how hard can it really be to train Joe in pulp processing?
How hard? Pulp process training is a week-long class at the mill. Instructor-led. Not a bullshit technology-based course. No. It is hands-on. Inspecting debarked trees before they go into the chipper. Reviewing pulp additives. How the pulp mixer itself works. Which additives will change the paper quality. The importance of knowing the grade of paper you want before you select the trees for the pulp. You have expanded my scope into much more than the pulp. It is a misnomer to call my team the pulp processing unit. Today, we support acquisition and finance to obtain new forests. We develop additives. We have retrofitted the pulp mixer itself. God forbid there is a problem with the final paper sheet, quality control will come back to us. Even though the problem lies elsewhere. Why? And now just because you think so, I can add training Joe from scratch to this workload.
You and your staff have done it before. So do it again.
Mother of God. Why do I even give a shit? I should have expected this. After all, this is the mill.